So I was thinking the other day, one of the big things that I'd probably be concerned with if I was a student and applying to university for this year would be student finance and what's going on in relation to student funding with all of the things that's happening with COVID-19. I'd like to caveat this video at the start. Student finance information and announcements move very quickly. So the information I'm going to give you is accurate of today, which is the 25th of April 2020. But in this video, I'm going to give you a load of links to really useful resources so you can keep most up to date with the information as and when it comes in. So last week I had a phone call with Amar, who's a staff member at the student loans company who deal with all of the applications for student finance and student funding. And one of the questions I had for Amar is how, for current students, is COVID-19 going to affect the university student finance procedures and processes, and are there any big changes that you need to be made aware of? Now, Amar said, in principle, nothing is changing with regards to student funding for this year. It's staying very much the same as it always has. No major announcements, no significant cuts to student loans or anything like that. However, there is something that you need to be aware of, and that is that when you apply for student finance, it's calculated on the tax year that's just gone. So that might be 2018-19, and they pull all of their calculations from the income from the household for that year. Now, with everything that's going on, that could have changed significantly, and it might have changed for you. It could be, I don't know, you're living in a household with two parents and one of them's been made redundant or furloughed because of everything locking down. Now, in the current setup, that wouldn't necessarily be taken into account if it was last year's earnings. And that puts you in a bit of a sticky situation, right? Because those financial circumstances have changed significantly. Well, Student Finance England do have a process and a procedure for that. It's called a current year income assessment. And basically how it works is you'd need to apply for student finance as normal. You'd need to tick all of those boxes of things that they're asking you to do, like ID checks, like your parents filling out forms based on that last year's earnings. However, when all that's complete and you're registered on the system, then usually in June, early July, you will have the opportunity to fill in one of these CYI forms, the current year income assessment. I'll put what they're called at the bottom in the description so you can have a look for it, and you'll know what to kind of copy and paste into Google or check out the student loans company website for at the time. But essentially what the current year income assessment does is if there's been more than a 15% change in household income between last year and this current financial year, then they will ask a load of questions and basically conduct a reassessment that's based on your present circumstances instead of last year's. So they do have mechanisms in place to support students if that's happened. However, the ball's really in your court with this one. It's going to involve you being very proactive and making sure more than ever that you're taking all of those steps needed to ensure that they've got the correct information and can give you the student funding and finance that you're eligible for. Now, this current year income assessment does mean that there's an additional step to the process. So not only do you have to do all of the other usual stuff that you would do, but at the end then, June, July time, make sure you fill in this form too. And it's going to be so important that you do that in a timely fashion as well, because you think millions of people have been affected by COVID-19, loads of people out of work or being furloughed, and that means there's going to be lots and lots of students that are in exactly your position if you're one of those. If you leave it later and you don't get these things in on time, there's going to be significant delays. Okay, so you need to be really proactive. Keep an eye out for those dates and make sure that you're checking the boxes when it comes to what you need to be submitting when. So that's the state of play at the moment. As with everything at the moment, the current situation means that we need to be super on it when it comes to finding out all of this stuff. I hope this video and the information within it has given you a bit of a launch pad and a springboard into some of the stuff that you need to know. However, I am not a student finance expert, okay? I'm someone who spoke to a colleague and is delivering that information down onto you. What I would heartily recommend is keep in touch and follow all of the updates with the Student Loans Company or Student Finance England. You can find them on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, then their account is SF gov.uk/England. They also have a landing page on the gov.uk website, which is the one that the government uses for all its government department stuff. I had a quick look for it this morning and it's not necessarily the easiest to find. So what I'll do in the description of this video again is post the link to the gov.uk website that contains all of this information and their frequently asked questions, which Amal told me they're updating kind of once every 2 or 3 days at the moment to ensure you get the most up-to-date information around any changes that are going on. So the takeaways from this video: firstly, if you're applying for student finance this year and you're expecting a significant change in finances, it's going to be look out for that current year income assessment and make sure you are getting everything in a timely fashion and you're ahead of the curve with it, because there's going to be a lot of people in similar situations. The second one is don't just take the information I've given you today and assume that nothing will change. We don't know what's going to be happening with COVID-19 at the moment, so it's incredibly important that when it comes to the student finance stuff, you're a bit of a research ninja and you hop onto Twitter and follow their accounts, you regularly check that gov.uk website and equip yourself with all of the knowledge that means that you're going to be happy and well funded when it comes to study in September. Okay, that's it from me today. I hope you found the information useful. Next video, I'm going to check in probably with something researchy. Again, I'm tending to do one and then one of the other at the moment. As you can see, quick hair update. I am looking like a member of a 1970s rock band, and that's not going to change because I don't have any clippers. Right, that's it for now. I'll see you next time.